Let us look at a few configurations of charges and their potential. This is a ring of charge. This ring of charge carries a charge of plus q. This has a radius r. We would like to find out the potential of this ring of charge at a point P, which is at a distance x on the axis of the ring. The potential is V is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q divided by under root of x square plus r square. Let us look at a disk of charge. This is a disk. So this is solid and this has a surface charge density sigma. Let us recall that sigma is nothing but charge per unit area q divided by A. We are looking at a distance x from the center and this is the location of point P. The potential at point PV is equal to sigma upon 2 epsilon naught under root of x square plus r square minus x. Please note that in these configurations, potential at infinity has been assumed to be 0. V infinity is equal to 0 here as well as V infinity is equal to 0 over here, and that's why we are being able to write down the value of the potential V. Let us look at an infinite sheet of charge. Here the potential at infinity cannot be assumed to be 0 because the electric field happens to be uniform and it is non-diminishing. So even further away from this infinite plane of charge also the electric field will be uniform, and the electric field happens to be sigma upon 2 epsilon naught. So change in potential delta V is going to be equal to minus sigma upon 2 epsilon naught into delta R. Next is an infinitely long line of charge. So this is an infinitely long line of charge at a distance r from the infinitely long line of charge. We get the value of delta V. So if we are talking about delta V, we'll have to talk about two different points. One is at a distance, let's say r1, and another point is, let us say, at a distance r2. So r1 forms a circle of radius r1 along this line and r2 can form a circle of radius r2 along this line. So delta V between these 2 points, delta V is lambda, which is the linear charge density of this line, lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught log of r2 divided by r1. So here we can clearly see that lambda can be written as q divided by L. Now let us say if we wanted to not compare the two different points r1 and r2, then in that case we can just write down V to be equal to lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught log of r plus C. Now at infinite distance from this infinitely long charge, the electric field is diminishing. So electric field will go down like so, and the expression for the electric field is lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught r. Since this particular V has been found using indefinite integration, we have to add here a constant of integration, and thus here in writing down this particular electric field, we can very well try to put down V equal to 0 at infinity, and thus will be left with this particular expression for the potential at a point that is r distance away. Here we have a finite line of charge. This finite line of charge has length L. Now for this finite line of charge at a distance x, the electric field leads to the potential given by V is equal to lambda upon 2 pi epsilon naught log of under root of x square plus L square minus L divided by under root of x square plus L square plus L. Here for the finite line of charge, V infinity is assumed to be equal to 0. For a charged spherical shell, V infinity again is assumed to be 0. So V inside is going to be equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q divided by capital R. Now capital R happens to be the radius of this charged spherical shell, and outside V happens to be q divided by small r, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q divided by small r, where r is greater than equal to r. And for r less than equal to r, we have v is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught small q divided by capital R. We can see that the potential at the surface here is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q divided by r, and this is matched via this expression as well as this expression. So the potential has a continuous value. The potential usually does not have a discrete value or rapidly changing value, because minus del V divided by del R happens to be the electric field, the magnitude of the electric field, and the potential gradient has to be pretty much smooth in most cases and continuous. Here we have a solid uniform sphere of charge. For a solid uniform sphere of charge having a total charge q distributed uniformly over its region, we have the potential. Again here V infinity is assumed to be 0. The potential inside is going to be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q divided by capital R into bracket 3r square minus r square upon 2r square. This could alternatively be written as 3 by 2 minus r square upon 2r square. This is another way of writing this. This is for r less than equal to r, and outside we simply have 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q divided by r. This is for r greater than equal to capital R, and the expression for r less than equal to capital R matches the expression for r greater than equal to capital R, and both the expressions are going to give us the value kq divided by r. K happens to be this constant. So inside this is the expression, and outside we have got this expression inversely proportional to r, simply speaking. So this is for a uniform solid sphere of charge.